What up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and we are here today for another review for American Horror Story Double Feature Season 10, Episode number 3. The episode is titled Thirst. Alright, guys, so before we get into this review, if you guys are watching this video or any other review on the channel and are not yet subscribed to the channel, I need you guys to do me a solid favor. I need you guys to subscribe, like the video, thumbs up, thumbs down, whichever one you guys want to do, leave the comments, all that kind of stuff right there, right? And without further ado, let's get into the episode review, shall we? All right, you guys. So this episode, it wasn't a lot, but it was good enough for me, right? So you guys remember the last episode, Doris found Alma eating that damn dead animal, right? So in this episode, we see her as she is scrubbing all that blood off of Alma. I'm like, girl, you gonna scrub the skin? You gonna scrub the skin off of her? So then Harry comes in, right? So Doris tells Harry that she found Alma eating a dead, was it a rabbit? It was a rabbit. So Harry at that point like, oh shit, she done got one of them damn pills. Hold on, you guys. My bad, you guys. I think somebody was texting me. So yeah, at this point Harry knows what's up. Your daughter snuck one of them crazy ass pills. So then the chief of police, she comes over, right? And she's coming over because she says she got some complaints that Doris and Alma were spotted, right? Alma had blood all over her, and she was at the cemetery eating. She was at the cemetery with a dead animal, came home, blood all over her, right? So now the chief wants to talk to Alma at the police station, but she wants to talk to Alma solo. I'm like, wait a minute. That violates so many laws right there. You can't talk to a minor without a parent or legal guardian present. Because they were like, you don't want us to come with them? She's like, nope, it's fine. I'm like, and I would be like, no, she's not coming with you. The fuck? So in this moment, I was like, oh, so now the chief has some questions, right? Because she's talking about all those bodies that are showing up. She's talking about the body that's at the shore that Harry killed in last week's episode. She's talking about those bodies that the alleged shark ate last week. So I'm like, oh, so now it's not just these. So now it's not just druggies. You really believe that people are being murdered at this point, which they are. But now you're worried about it. But last week you was playing it off like it wasn't shit. Okay. So while they're talking, Doris clutches down and she falls down the stairs, clutching her stomach. So we assume she's, in labor, right? But we see her at the hospital, and they are in a different city, a different place. They're not in Provincetown. They are in Hyenas. That's where they are. So the doctor tells them that the baby is fine, but they were false contractions, and we find out that Doris has had, a few miscarriages at this. She's had a few miscarriages. So she wants for Doris to stay at the hospital for, at least 4 to 5 days, right? So at this point, Harry told Alma, go to the vending machine. So Alma walks out of the room, and there is a cart in front of her full of blood. So she stops and she looks at it. Here says Alma, vending machine is that way. So she leaves. So Doris tells Harry that she wants him and Alma to get out of Provincetown. So he says, okay, we'll get out of Provincetown, no problem. And she'll stay at the hospital. All right, guys, I'm going to pause here. I'm going to move forward. All right, you guys. So we see Harry. So Harry and Alma, they're leaving. But they're not heading in the direction of New York. They're actually heading back toward Provincetown. And Alma's like, so you lied to mom? He's like, yeah, she doesn't need to know that I lied. So she says, so what about he's like, and with the chief, I'll tell her, hey, my wife almost lost the baby because of you. So I need you to back off if you don't want a lawsuit. I don't know if that's going to work, but okay. So then he asked her, when did she first take the pill? She told him when she took the pill, right? And why she took the pill. And he's like, but you're talented, and it's going to take, you're going to hone your talent over the years. But, how people are, they want things quick, fast, and in a hurry. People don't have patience. In this day and age, people don't have patience to make, to actually work and cultivate things. I noticed that, right? People want things fast and in a hurry, fast and easy. Actually, it's the whole viral mentality. Everyone wants to go viral for something, right? So he tells her about the pills, right? That, like those pale people. Those pale people took those pills, and they're pale because they had absolutely no talent whatsoever, right? They became nothing. So he tells her he wants her to stop taking the pills, and she says, "Okay, that's fine, but you gotta stop taking the pills as well." And then, he also mentioned about the man, about the man at the pier. That's he all but let off that he killed that man, right? So then we see Harry. So Harry is back at the house. He's at the computer. He's trying to write, but unfortunately, he has writer's block. So Harry goes to get the pills out of the trash can. He takes one. He closes the cabinet, and behind him is Alma with her hands held out for her to take a pill. He was like, "Fuck, gotta get this little bitch a pill." So he gave her one. So then we see them. They go out to dinner, right? And they both ordered a very rare steak. I'm like, why come y'all just didn't say, "Hell, give me a raw steak"? Oh God. So he tells Alma that, for him, with his writing, he only have to do this for like 3 months or so, right? But with her, since this is something that she does, she won't have to continuously take these pills, right? He says, "We'll get you tested to make sure that you're, a growing, healthy young lady," right? She said, "Well, I don't care about, getting married or having kids. I just want to be successful with my music." So then he also tells her, like, when it comes to, you feeding, he'll do it for her. So that way she doesn't have to worry about anything, right? So then she says to him, "Why do we need mom? She's not a good mother. She's not a good wife. And, her designs, they're whack as hell." I'm like, well, damn. Tell us how you really feel about your mama. Like, Jesus Christ. So he tells her he'll bring her blood, right? So then she tells him, "Well, I'm hungry." I'm like, oh, God. How often do y'all get hungry for blood? Jesus. All right, you guys, I'm going to pause here, and we're going to continue to move forward. All right, so this next thing with Harry, we see Harry. So he's found somebody on Craigslist that he's going to meet up with, it, right? So Harry goes to this house, right? This strung out woman answers the door, right? So he was about to come in, and she's like, "Before you come in, I need to see your ID." I'm like, what is that going to do, right? Like, she wants to see his ID. Like, you going to take a picture of it? You going to scan it? Like, what you going to do with his ID? Like, what you going to do with his ID? That could be a fake ID. So what you going to do with that? So he comes in, right? She says, "You want a BJ?" He says, "No." He says, "But that's no offense." She says, "Oh, no, I didn't take it that way." Then he gets clocked over the motherfucking head. So then Harry comes to. He's in the basement. He's tied up. There's some rules on the wall. No complaining. There was a lot of stuff on the wall, right? So Harry busts out a window, and there's a man in there. She's like, he has a 10-inch dick, and he's gonna fuck you in the ass until you get to a rosebud. I was like, ugh, because I've heard of rosebuds, and it's when somebody pounds your butthole so hard and so long that it flips inside out. Ugh, ugh. So they into that kind of stuff, right? So then she tries to give him a Viagra pill, right? So they're into snuff porn. So she says, "Here, take this Viagra pill." He was like, "What for?" She says, while he's fucking you, you're gonna fuck me." I'm like, oh God. Oh God. So, ew. I just thought about something too. Okay. I just thought, I went a little gory, but I'm not going to say what I was thinking. But Harry has a strict diet, so it ain't going to be no problems back there. But y'all can kind of guess what I'm talking about. Because I was just thinking like, y'all not going to let him freshen up? Clean up? Because, backdoor action. That is technically an exit and not an entrance. So if he's not, but again, But you know what, never mind. We're gonna move on. I don't want to go too deep into it, but y'all probably know y'all already know what I'm thinking because I just said it. So Carrie eventually takes the Viagra pill, right? So they take him out of the room and they bend him over this wooden contraption, right? So they get ready to turn on the camera. I'm looking at that camera. I'm like, that is an old ass camera. That looks like my first camcorder that I ever had in my life, where you put the VHS tape in it and you record. And she was talking about this, the battery charged. The battery wasn't charged. That was always the one thing with my camcorder. My battery, actually I had two batteries. One of them actually just played out. It stopped working at a certain point. And then the second one, it didn't hold a charge that long. All right. So they're arguing over the camera. While they're arguing over the camera, Howard takes his teeth out. He chews through it. As they're getting ready, he pounces on the woman, sucks, rips her neck out. I'm like, oh God. Then the man's like, what the fuck? And the man had a gun, so Harry, pop, 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 shot him. He's like, I'm gonna let you bleed out, but I'm gonna finish eating her. I'm like, well, okay, Harry. So then Harry took the blood back home, put it in the bowl. Like, you would have thought that was tomato soup that she was eating, but no, it's blood. And she just sitting there with a spoon eating it. I'm like, ugh. I'm like, that is nasty. Yeah, it's nasty. Yeah, it's real nasty. So then Ursula shows up to the house the next morning, right? And Harry has the blood on his hand. She's like, is that blood? Did you cut yourself? He's like, oh no, we had spaghetti and meat sauce last night. Spaghetti, okay. Meat sauce ain't the color of meat sauce, and blood are two different reds. And the buoyancy are different. That is right. That is buoyancy. Okay, whatever. So she's telling Harry that, she got a call from Quentin Tarantino that he wants to work with Harry on his limited series. He wants Harry to write for him, right? And Harry's like, okay. Harry's actually like, but he's his own writer. She was like, well, with this, he wants to take. He doesn't want to write on it. I'm like, Quentin Tarantino doesn't want to write on his own. Okay, go on ahead. So Ursula like, I'm gonna stay here in this town for a little bit. He's like, well, you be safe around here. You be safe around here. You definitely be safe around that crazy ass town. Again, where are the townspeople at? I keep wondering, where the fuck are the townspeople at? I ain't saw townspeople the first in this town. But we're gonna move on. Alright, guys, next up we see Ursula. So Ursula is at the Muse, and Mickey is there looking her up and down. I'm like, oh shit, girl, you about to die. You's about to die. Belle and Austin, they're performing. So at this point, she's annoyed. So I'm remembering when it comes to them, when they take those pills, they're able to just keep going and going and going, kind of like the Energizer Bunny. So I'm like, oh shit. So Belle and Austin must be like playing on a loop at this point, because Ursula was annoyed as fuck, right, with them performing, and they were like, oh, okay, Miss, okay. So they finished performing, right, and she got her food. Then Mickey came up to her. She's like, go the fuck away, basically, right? But she leaves. So then the next morning on the beach, Mickey runs up to her because he heard that she was an agent from LA, and he wants her to read his script. She was like, you'd have a better chance of me fucking you, and the only way that would happen is if I was in a coma. I was like, well, damn. So he tells her, no, I'm not trying to hit on you. I want you to read my scripts. So she says, I'll read them. But then she was basically saying she's going to put them in a fireplace. I was like, damn. So we do see her as she's reading his scripts, right? And as she's reading it, you can tell that she's quite impressed by what she's reading. So then we see her, she meets up with him again. She asks him, when is the last time that you took drugs or sucked dick? I was like, well, damn. She's like, because somebody like you that's on meth, I know you sucking dick to get a fix. I'm like, well, god damn. So then she says to him, she knows something is going on right there in that town, right? Because she knows who Austin is, and she knows who she's rubbed off to, Belle's books, right? And then she talks about Harry as well. So she just wants to know what's going on. So he tells her about the pills, right? So she says she needs the pills and she needs access to the source of the pills. So then we see Belle and Austin as they leave, right? And then Mickey sneaks in to the place looking for the pills. So he did find some of the pills, and he took he didn't take all the pills. He just took a little bit with him, and he left, right? So I'm going to pause here, and then we're going to move forward, you guys. All right, you guys. So when Belle and Austin left, they went and picked up Harry, right? So they pulled up on 2 meth heads. I was like, well, damn. Y'all hit the lotto tonight, didn't you? So they take those meth heads out, and then also, once Harry's finished feeding, Harry props the man up. He puts a canister under him and slits his throat so that more blood can drain. So Belle and Austin noticed him do that, right? But they didn't say anything in that house. They didn't say anything until they got in the car and they started driving. So they got in the car, they turned around, put a gun on his ass. Who's the blood for? He says it's for Amish. They're like, fuck, not your daughter. He's like, yeah. They're like, well, after they were like, oh hell no, we ain't doing kids. And they're like, how old is she? He says 9. They're like, fuck that. So then, they tell him, okay, at this point, no more pills for that little girl. So they drop him off, and then after they drop him off, they were like, we got to kill his ass. I was like, oh, poor Harry. So then we see Mickey, right? Mickey is at the pier, and he's meeting up with some guy, and he pulled out his knife. Him and the guy got into a big fight with each other, right? Mickey was getting his ass beat at first until, the guy turned around and left. Mickey stabbed him in the leg. He fell. Then Mickey got on top of him and killed him and slit his throat and sucked his blood. I'm like, well, good. Y'all are very violent. Very violent. So then we see him and he goes back to his place, right? And Belle is there, right? So he does tell Belle that he took his pills. But hey, Belle, I'm not one of those pill people. I actually have talent. So she tells him that his first kill needs to be Ursula. I'm like, well, girl, he's already got his first kill. That'll be his second kill, so good luck with that one. That'll actually be his second kill, not his first. So then the chief of police, they found Mickey's kill, right? And there was a witness who saw it, right? He said he was too far away to actually see Mickey's face, but he does believe that it was gay bash. It was a gay bashing kill. I'm like, okay. So is every man in this town gay? Because Austin gives a bit of a gay vibe, right? Just saying. Just saying. All right, I'm gonna pause here and we're gonna wrap up. All right, you guys. Now you remember I told you that Belle told Mickey to kill Ursula, right? So Mickey snuck into Ursula's hotel room. She's in a bathtub. He goes to the bathroom to kill her. She's like, oh, so I guess you're here to kill me and drink my blood. He's like, yeah, I don't really want to, but I'm pretty sure I can find another agent. She's like, but can you find another agent that got you a gig on writing for Ghost Rider? Ghost Rider. I'm trying to remember what that show was. Is that the show with the cartoon where he had the late night talk show on Cartoon Network? Not the Space Ghost. That's Space Ghost I'm thinking about. What is Ghost Rider? Maybe Ghost Rider before I was born? I have to look that up. I don't know what Ghost Rider is. But Ursula's a smart girl. She managed to save her life, basically. So she tells him, she wants to meet the person who makes the pills. He says there is a chemist, but they say not there. There's some rules in this town. You don't touch another man's lobster or crab or whatever he said, and you don't go near that house. But we see Mickey and Ursula as they go to the house, and then we meet, which I don't know what her character's name is, Angelica Ross's character, right? She tells them leaves or she'll kick their ass. Actually, she says, you know what? I'll give you that for free. So Ursula says, fine, but if I'll go to the police, and I'm pretty sure they'll be up here trying to figure out what's going on. So Angelica Ross's character's like, okay, bitch, come on in, right? So we see her as she gives her an offer, right? Ursula gives Angelica Ross's character an offer. Then we see Angelica Ross's character as she's talking to Belle and Mickey. Not Belle and Mickey, Belle and Austin. And she's like, I don't like people. This bitch came up to my house, offered me a deal. So basically what the deal is, Ursula wants those pills to give to 15 of her clients, right? And she offers her, Angelica Ross's character, she offers her a 10% earnings post pills, right? Then she also has back in. I'm like, damn, girl, your ass will be rolling in the money. But, Bella Austin asked her, did she take that deal? She says, no, I didn't take that deal. She says, I want her and that meth head dead, as well as that family. I'm like, well, damn, you killing everybody, huh? Just kill them all. So then we see Harry, right? So Harry has Ursula over to the house, right? He's gonna go check on Doris. And Ursula's gonna watch Alma, right? So Alma tells him, hurry, I'm hungry. I don't trust that little girl. I don't like that little girl. That girl is a devil. So as Harry is leaving the house, who's outside of the house? The chief. What does the chief do? She goes up to the house, knocks on the door. Alma answers the door. She wants to talk to Alma. I'm like, girl, you are dumb as fuck. So then the chief says, she doesn't know what's going on, but she knows that this started before Alma and Harry got there, right? And she just wants to understand why. I'm like, didn't people just tell you that they saw her and her mother walking from the cemetery with blood over her? I'm not gonna fuck with the children of the corn. No. Absolutely not. So the chief tells her that she wants to take her in, and that when Harry comes, she wants to arrest him. What does Alma do? Grabs something, shoves it in her neck. She's dead. Blood is gushing everywhere. I'm like, well, that was your own fault. Don't feel bad for you. But that's it, you guys. That was the episode. Let me know what you guys thought about it. Leave your comments in the comment section below, and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell button so you guys are notified when I drop anything else, and share the video. And until the next one, you guys, stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. Remember to wash your hands, wear a mask, social distance, be blessed, and I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.